Welcome back everybody to an update to my Soul Under 5, the Wolves of Steel series, War Warrior Gunter Wolf. I'm just posting this for the regular viewers so no one's totally kept in the dark. I haven't abandoned everything. What's happened actually is I'm having problems with the computer. It's about 4 years old and it's suffering from the usual desktop computer cancer of dust. I try and clean it every few months, and but these things do finally permeate into the little nooks and crannies and whatever's of the computer, and it doesn't want to work properly anymore. What's happening with it is that if I go to reboot the computer after it's been on for a while, it won't reboot. It'll just stay switched off, meaning it wants a rest for a few hours to cool down, and which means it's showing its age. And with the way Silent Hunter 5 runs, to keep everything happening, I have to have the computer on for days, and meaning I have the game minimized and I can still use the computer for other stuff, but when I go to bed at night I have to maximize the screen to make sure hopefully it doesn't drop out in the middle of the night. I usually allot 6 hours to play Wolves of Steel, to record an episode or something, and that actually takes me a whole gaming day in Wolves of Steel. That's 24 hours, and if I have a contact involved in that, I record it and then I minimize the screen and then I edit and render it and view it to make sure that it's okay, and then I clear me hard drive to leave space for another episode or the rest of the 24 hours in case something else happens.
Neue Tiefe 7 Meter.
So in the end that means the computer is on for about maybe 3, maybe 4 days, trying to record, play that 24 hours through, and this being, well, before it was the middle of winter and I have a heated house, and at night it's heated up to 28 degrees Celsius and it goes down to 24 during the day. So it's not the best to have an aging computer sitting there idling for hours, not doing anything. And with my current assignment taking in 48 hours, of which I have to keep the computer running, which means it could be running up to 5 to 6 days to play through on that 48 hours, is a bit type of time consuming and tying up this my computer just for the one game. Also, you might have remembered in the last episode I was having problems with the game in lagging. Halfway through that episode the game really lagged bad, and I had to restart it, and it didn't improve, but I'm not too sure whether it's lagging because of all the ships and everything or whatever around it, or all the loading that's going on in the background, or whether it's just lagging because of something else, because it does lag sometimes. And what the disturbing part of it was that the screen would minimize by itself. And as I'd mentioned before, if that happens while I'm running in FRAPS, the game drops out. So it takes me minimum 20 minutes to half an hour to restart the game, because that's what it usually takes to reload the game from the console. And then that automatically restarts the clock back to whatever, if you've got to be in, like when I was approaching in the last episode, I'd already had about 5 odd hours into the scenario, or bit of time into the scenario, and then the game drops out. So it means I have to restart 48 hours again. And it makes it quite hard, especially when you're a week or 2 weeks turnaround from your base to be able to play the game. It wouldn't have been so much of a problem like in British coastal waters, like in my first series. I thought it was just a glitch in the game. I didn't because I just record an episode and then finish the game, turn the game off, not realising that I'd just stay on for the rest of that for the game to advance to another, and that's why I was stuck in one spot for 6 weeks. Yeah, 6 weeks, and with 1 month on station, and in the end the series had to finish because I had to really update the game. The console wouldn't let me log on, put me in an endless loop of logging, loading, and so I had to rebuild the game, so I couldn't continue the series because you have to uninstall the whole game and reinstall the game, which and it had new mods and updates, and so they recommend you don't try and use the old save because it'll be corrupted and it won't work properly. Plus I want to advance because I was using different navigation. I want to try real navigation. So it was a perfect opportunity to restart the game and try and play it properly, because by the end of that series I'd realised I had to keep the game running for the game's 24-hour period to advance, and in the end I was in the process of doing that when it stopped wanting to play. So when I recorded the last episode, it had to be restarted 3 times, and twice it dropped out when I was continued recording after I'd edited and rendered and watched the last episode. It dropped out twice, and I thought, well, I can't really keep on playing this game in this current configuration, so I have to do something about it. I'm not too sure if the game got an update or something, whether it updates automatically via the console or what happened, because I never had this problem before, and I can't play it if the game if the screen keeps on minimizing itself. So I'm going to have to get onto the SubSim forum and go and dig around in there and see what's happens about that, or if something made the game unstable, of which I'm only using the approved mods of the game and not all the mods that came with the package. They're all approved. So and I might have to reload the whole game and see what happens after that, which I'm not really looking forward to because it takes a bit of time. Then I got to fix up the navigation equipment because I can't draw in one colour because I can't see anything. It left me in a bit of a dilemma as to what to do. But I was thinking I might just restart the campaign somewhere else and leave Gunter in the wind to come back to once the game gets stabilised. But I think I might have to reload the game and see what happens there, or I'm not too sure whether it's the computer that's doing it. But it's my Fallout 4 is minimising. The screen minimises by itself, but that's because I've got mods in it. I've got over 100 and something, about 150 mods. I've got a version of Skyrim with about 230 mods, and if that minimises it, it's starting to do it itself. So I'm not too sure exactly what's happening. whether it's the computer doing it or whether it's the game, because once games are modded they become inherently unstable. So I don't really know exactly what to do about it. So what it all boils down to is that instead of getting ducted air conditioning throughout the house this summer, I'm going to have to put the money into assembling a new computer. I prefer to buy all the bits in cash and not be in a hurry to buy the soft hardware for it, so then I can get the computer I want to build that'll last me for quite. Well, that'll be it. I apologise for not having posted this earlier, but this is about the 5th time I've tried to put this up. Twice I've sat down and people have turned up unexpected. Twice the phones rang, this, that and the other's happening. So, okay, this being a rainy Sunday morning, I should be able to get something done finally. Thank you very much for watching and understanding, and I'd love to catch us all back next time. See you later.